Hello my dear students. Today we are going to talk about the continuation of your previous topic, that is symmetry. In the last class we have discussed regarding the rotational axis of symmetry, and today we are going to talk about the plane of symmetry. Plane of symmetry. Generally plane of symmetry is indicated by sigma. So how we are going to understand the plane of symmetry? That is, if an object, if you reflect, right, through a plane, if the two halves are equivalent, the first half and the second half are equivalent, have the equivalent structure, then we say that particular object has the plane of symmetry. The same concept is applied in case of your molecules also. If you take a molecule and reflect through a plane, right, if the first half of the molecule and second half of the molecule are reflecting each other, that is they are equivalent each other, then we say that molecule is having the plane of symmetry, right. Now if you take the cricket ball and if you pass, if you reflect or if you pass a plane from exactly from the center of the ball, you get two equal halves. The first half and the second half are equivalent to each other. Therefore, we say that cricket ball has a plane of symmetry. Similarly, if you take a molecule and you reflect through a plane, right, then if it is giving you two equivalent halves, then we say it is also having the plane of symmetry. Or in order to better understanding, we say that if an object or if a molecule, if it is bisected into two equal halves, the first half and its second half are alike, that is if you are getting two equal halves, then we say that particular molecule or object is having the plane of symmetry, right. That is a reflection through a plane if gives you equivalent structures, that is the first half and the second half are equivalent to each other. We say that bisecting a molecule or object into two equal halves, then we say that it has the plane of symmetry. Now if you take this pen itself, right, now if I pass a plane, if I reflect exactly from the center, from this side, right, I'll get two equal halves. If I pass or if I reflect through this plane, right, the first half and the second half are different, therefore I get two different halves. We say that along this plane it doesn't have plane of symmetry. But whereas if I cut this pen, right, exactly from the top to bottom, you will get two halves, that is it is exactly bisected from the center, that is reflection is done exactly from the center, so that you get the first and the second half. The first and second half will be equivalent. Therefore, we say that this pen has plane of symmetry along this axis, along this plane. We say when you pass when you reflect along this plane, you don't have the two equal halves, because the first half has the cap which is black in color and second half doesn't have the cap, that is two different halves will be obtained. Therefore, along this plane you doesn't have the plane of symmetry, but along this plane if you reflect, if you cut it into two equal halves, then we have the plane of symmetry. So it is very important to know the plane along which you are passing, right. If you pass, if you reflect along particular plane, then only you get the equivalent halves, then we say that the molecular object is having the plane of symmetry. Now this plane of symmetry is again classified into different types. Anyhow, before going to the classification of plane of symmetry, I'll just give one or two examples. For example, you take the cricket ball, if you cut exactly from the center, or if you reflect from the center, the first half and the second half looks alike, that is they are equivalent each other. So it is quite better to understand in this way that if you bisect or cut any object into two equal halves, then we say it has a plane of symmetry. So here also, when you cut the ball from the center, you get two equal halves. For example, if I take the ball and if I cut somewhere from here, I don't get the equal halves. That means along this plane it doesn't have the plane of symmetry. That is, the plane should be passed in such a way that it should get two equal halves, two equivalent halves. That is the foremost very important condition over there, right. If I take a ball, if I cut like this, I get two equal halves. Therefore, along this plane also it has a plane of symmetry. If I cut like this or if I reflect like this, I get two equal halves. So therefore, reflection should be done along that plane which should give you the two equivalent halves, right. Therefore, then only we say it has a plane of symmetry. Now I'll take the example of water molecule here. Now if you look at this water molecule, the water molecule has a angular shape, V shaped. Now when water molecule, right, this is the structure of water molecule with oxygen in the center and the two hydrogens at these positions, which are separated by particular angle over here. Now if you bisect this molecule, that if you reflect from the top to bottom like this, you get two equal halves. That is, the plane is passing from the center of the oxygen, right, the center of the oxygen. When you bisect from the center of oxygen, you get two equal halves. Or we can say that if you reflect, the first half reflects the other side, the second half reflects the second side. Therefore we say that this water molecule has the plane of symmetry, which is passing from the center of the oxygen like this. Now if you cut it from the center, you get two equal halves. Therefore we say it has the plane of symmetry. There is another plane of symmetry, right? That is, if you take the water molecule and if you cut like this, when you are cutting like this, that means the plane is passing from the oxygen, hydrogen, hydrogen, that is like this. We are cutting from the center like this, hydrogen into two halves, oxygen into two halves, and back hydrogen into two halves. So the plane is passing in such a way that it is touching all the atoms. This plane is passing through all the atoms, cutting all the atoms into two equal halves, such that oxygen, right, cut into two equal halves, hydrogen cut into two equal halves, this hydrogen atom cut into two equal halves. So here the plane is passing from the oxygen, hydrogen, hydrogen, all the atoms into two equal halves. They are bisecting into two equal halves. Now such plane which is passing through all the atoms is called as molecular plane. Is called molecular plane. The plane or the plane of symmetry which is passing through, touching all the atoms, right? That plane, it is called as molecular plane. As a given example, water molecule. In water molecule, as we know that it has an angular shape, oxygen in the center and two hydrogens at this position. Now if you pass a plane like this, you get two equal halves. This is one plane. This is plane of symmetry. The other plane of symmetry is that you can also cut like this. When you are bisecting like this, oxygen into two halves, hydrogen into two halves, that means you are cutting from the center like this. Similarly, at the back side, you are cutting from the center. That's it. First half, you get the second half. So therefore, during this plane, when you are doing this plane, right, when you are reflecting along this plane, what is happening? You are getting the two equal halves. One side other, the second, you have the same equivalent half. So such plane of symmetry which is touching all the atoms, generally it is called as molecular plane, and generally we represent that molecular plane like this. So whenever it is represented like this, it should be understood that it is the molecular plane. Now coming to the classification of the plane of symmetry. Plane of symmetry is classified into three different types based on the with respect to the axis of rotational axis of symmetry. The plane of symmetry is classified into vertical plane of symmetry, which is given by sigma v. The other is horizontal plane of symmetry, which is given by sigma h, and the other is dihedral plane of symmetry, which is given by sigma d. So we just understood what is a plane of symmetry. Now the classification of plane of symmetry tells you that there are three different types of plane of symmetry. One is vertical plane of symmetry, horizontal plane of symmetry, and dihedral plane of symmetry. Now let us take one by one. What is vertical plane of symmetry? Sigma v. Sigma v states that if plane is passing along with principal rotational axis of symmetry, then we call this as sigma v or vertical plane of symmetry. Or you can also define another way, that is, if plane is parallel with principal rotational axis of symmetry. So in order to define sigma v, sigma h and sigma d, you also need to know regarding the rotational axis of symmetry. Once you have an idea regarding the rotational axis of symmetry, then only we can understand the different types of plane of symmetry. Therefore, if you have any doubts regarding the rotational axis of symmetry, go through my previous lectures which were already sent through a link, right? Now if you go through that, there you will understand what is rotational axial symmetry, types of rotational axial symmetries, principal and secondary rotational axial symmetry. Then you can easily understand the vertical plane of symmetry, horizontal plane of symmetry, and dihedral plane of symmetry. The condition for sigma v, that is vertical plane of symmetry, is that the plane should pass along with the principal axis of symmetry. That means the principal rotational axis of symmetry and the plane of should be along the same direction or same axis, we can say that. If your principal axis of symmetry is along x-axis, plane of symmetry should also be along that axis itself. If it is along y-axis, your plane of symmetry should also be along that particular y-axis. If the principal axis is along z-axis, then your plane of symmetry should be along that z-axis. Then we say that particular plane of symmetry as the vertical plane of symmetry. Now coming to the next, that is sigma h. We'll talk about the examples regarding, but initially we need to understand regarding what is sigma v, sigma h, and the sigma d. So sigma v is the plane is passing along with the principal axis of symmetry or parallel to the principal axis of symmetry, then we call it as sigma v. And coming to the sigma h, that is plane is passing perpendicular to principal rotational axis of symmetry. So here the plane of symmetry should be perpendicular to the principal rotational axis of symmetry. Then we say it as the horizontal plane of symmetry. If plane and the principal rotational axis of symmetry are perpendicular to each other, then we say that particular plane of symmetry as the horizontal plane of symmetry. Now let us take, for example, the axis, rotational axis along with this is, we take it as x-axis, right? Now if the plane of symmetry is perpendicular, that is along y, or we take z-axis. If the plane of symmetry is perpendicular, then we say that has the horizontal plane of symmetry. Now coming to the next, that is sigma d, that is dihedral plane of symmetry. Now dihedral plane of symmetry, the condition is that the plane of symmetry should pass through principal rotational axis of symmetry and should bisect two C2s. This is the condition. That is horizontal plane of symmetry. The plane of symmetry should pass through the principal rotational axis of symmetry. At the same time, it should bisect two C2s. If the plane of symmetry is passing along the principal axis of symmetry and bisecting two C2s, then we call this as the dihedral plane of symmetry. So these are the different types of plane of symmetries, their classification. Anyhow, just giving an idea regarding, once again, regarding this sigma v, sigma h, and sigma d. Right. You need, in order to understand all these three, you also know regarding the rotational axis of symmetry. Please go through the previous lectures where you can clarify your doubts in case if you have any doubts here. That is, first sigma v. Sigma v is nothing but the plane of symmetry passing along with the principal rotational axis of symmetry. You have to know what is principal rotational axis of symmetry, right? The principal rotational axis of symmetry is that the whenever a molecule has more than one type of rotational axis of symmetry, the rotational axis of symmetry with highest Cn value, highest n value will become the principal rotational axis of symmetry. That is the first condition. The other second condition regarding the principal rotational axis is that if a molecule has same type of symmetry along different axes, then the rotational axis passing through the maximum number of atoms is considered as principal rotational axis of symmetry. So therefore, that should be kept in mind in order to understand the sigma v. That is, a plane passing along with principal rotational axis of symmetry is called as sigma v. Whereas sigma h, the plane passing perpendicular to the principal rotational axis of symmetry, it is called as sigma h. And the plane which is passing through the principal axis and bisecting the two C2s, then it is called as sigma d. Right. There are many number of examples to understand the sigma v, sigma h, and the sigma d. Therefore, we shall take. Now let us continue with the vertical plane of symmetry. Right. Vertical plane of symmetry, it is called as sigma v. As I already told you, that vertical plane of symmetry is the sigma passing along principal rotational axis of symmetry. If a sigma is passing along the principal rotational axis of symmetry, then it is called as the vertical plane of symmetry. Now let us take the example of water molecule itself. So in case of water molecule, we know that in water molecule, rotational axis of symmetry, that is axis is passing from the oxygen on rotation around 180 degrees, they will give you what? Equivalent, that is it is having the C2. So in case of water molecule, you have the C2 has the primary rotation or principal rotational axis of symmetry. Principal rotational axis of symmetry. Now here in this case, if you look at the plane, now the axis is the principal, that is C2 along this axis, that is passing through the center of the oxygen. Similarly, the plane is also passing from the center of the oxygen. Now you can see that rotational axis and the plane both are in the same direction. Now if you take this example, the plane is passing from here. Similarly, the axis, rotational axis. Now axis is passing like this. On rotation you get 180. On rotation of 180 you get the equivalent structure. This is regarding the rotation. Now the axis is passing from the center of the oxygen. That is for rotational axis. Similarly, the plane. If you cut the molecule like this, you get two equal halves. So here, rotational axis, which is passing from top to bottom. Similarly, the plane of symmetry is also passing from the top to bottom. That is, your rotational axis of symmetry and principal axis of symmetry both are running parallel to each other. Therefore, we call it as vertical plane of symmetry. Similarly, there is one more vertical plane of symmetry in case of water molecule. That is, the plane which is running like this. The plane which is running like this. That is, it is passing from the oxygen, hydrogen and these hydrogen. Such like if you are cutting this molecule from the center, you get two equal halves. Now here also it is running parallel to your principal rotational axis of symmetry. Therefore, in case of your water molecule, this is one sigma V which is running parallel, and the other sigma V which is also running parallel to your principal axis. Now since this particular axis is passing through all the atoms, this is called as molecular plane, that is sigma V, but it is a molecular plane. Now this is just sigma V, simple sigma V, whereas since this sigma V is passing through all the atoms, therefore it is called as molecular plane. Now this is the example of your water molecule. So in case of your water molecule, you have two sigma V's. Note this point, you have two sigma V's. Now coming to the next example, that is your ammonia molecule. In case of ammonia molecule, you rotate along this particular axis, that is passing from the center of the nitrogen. We know that in case of ammonia, which is pyramidal in structure, this is how the rough structure looks. In the center you have the nitrogen and three hydrogens. The axis is passing from the center of the nitrogen, right, coming from top to the bottom. If you rotate 120 degrees each time, you get equivalent structures. This is regarding the rotational axis of symmetry of ammonia molecule. Principal rotational axis, that is passing from the center of the nitrogen, which will give you C3. So in case of your ammonia molecule, you have C3 principal rotational axis of symmetry. Now coming to the plane of symmetry. The plane of symmetry, ammonia molecule has three plane of symmetries. Now that planes are actually passing from the, now we know the principal axis is from top to bottom. Here also the plane will be from top to bottom, such that you are cutting the molecule like this. That is, nitrogen, hydrogen are in between. Or I'll put the molecule like this. You are cutting from top to bottom. That is from the center. When you are cutting from the center, this hydrogen which is at the rear side will also be in your plane, coming into the plane, such that you get the first and the second half. Now I'll just show in a front view. We are cutting the molecule like this from top to bottom. When you are cutting, it is cutting from the center of the nitrogen and also the hydrogen and the bond, that's NH bond. It is touching the NH bond. The plane is touching the NH bond and you are bisecting. When you are bisecting, you get the first half this side and the second half the other side. So therefore you get an equivalent, or we say that you have two equal halves over there. So here 1 sigma V is passing through 1 NH bond. 1 sigma V is passing through the 1 NH bond. Like this you have 3 NH bonds. Therefore we say that in case of ammonia there are 3 sigma V's possible. Just try to understand it once again. Though I may not have the molecular models over there, try to understand with this, right? Try to make you understand with this. Structure of ammonia with nitrogen in the center and the 3 hydrogens separated particular angle, that is 120 degrees. Now, we know that the principal rotational axis, where axis is passing from the center of the nitrogen and you are rotating 120 each time. That is principal rotational axis of symmetry. Now coming to the plane of symmetry, the plane is passing along your principal axis. That means you are bisecting, you are cutting this molecule from top to bottom like this. When you are bisecting or cutting this molecule from top to bottom, you are cutting along NH bond. When you are cutting along NH bond, such that you get the two equal halves. This is a front view where I am showing, whereas if you see the rear view, if I cut the molecule from top to bottom, the plane is passing in between these two atoms and it also touches the center of this NH bond. It is touching the NH bond. So this is one plane. The second plane passes from this NH bond. Third plane passes from this NH bond. Therefore, each plane is passing from NH bond. In case of ammonia, you have 3 NH bonds. Therefore, we say there are 3 sigma V's in case of your ammonia. So, in case of your ammonia molecule, you have 3 plane of symmetries. Now, we are going to represent the plane of symmetries like. Now, if the plane is passing from this nitrogen and hydrogen bond, HA and HB, these two will be reflecting each other. Such that if you put a mirror here, right, the first half reflects here and the second half reflects to the other side. Therefore, you get an equivalent structure. So, whenever in case of your plane of symmetry, when we are reflecting, if you take the example of water molecule here, HA and HB, if you are reflecting from the center of the oxygen, that means if you put a mirror in the center, if you put a mirror center. Now here, in case of water molecule, when you pass or if you reflect from the center of that means if you put a mirror here, the first half reflects the other side and the second half reflects the other side, right? Either side. Such that both these halves will be looking alike, that is equivalent. Therefore, it has the plane of symmetry which is passing from the center of the oxygen. Now, this is what regarding the ammonia molecule. Now, let us take the other example. So, in case of your ammonia molecule, ammonia has C3 rotational principal axis of symmetry and the 3 sigma V's passing along with rotational axis of symmetry, that is they are passing along C3 rotational axis of symmetry and each sigma V is passing through NH bond. Each sigma V is passing through the NH bond. In case of ammonia, you have 3 NH bonds. Therefore, it has 3 sigma V's. So, this is what regarding the vertical plane of symmetry in case of your water, that is ammonia and the water molecule. Now, let us continue with the other example, that is BX3 molecule. Now, in case of BX3 molecule, the principal rotational axis of symmetry is in the center. That is, the rotational axis of symmetry is passing from the center of the boron. That is, it has the C3 rotational axis of symmetry. Now coming to the plane of symmetry. Since the axis is passing from the front of your board, right? The axis is passing like this from the center of the board, right? Similarly, the plane will also be passing like this. That is, it will be running parallel to your principal rotational axis of symmetry, such that you are bisecting from the center. That is, you are cutting from the center like this. If you cut from the center, you get two equal halves. That is XA and XB. We label them like this. That is, have done the sigma V. Since the plane is passing along with the principal rotational axis of symmetry, sigma V. Now what happens? I get this HB will be reflect XB and XA reflects the either side. Now if you see this sigma V, now this sigma V is passing from what? Boron and hydrogen atom. The sigma V is passing along with principal rotational axis of symmetry, that is C3, and also passing through the BX bond. So the vertical plane of symmetry in case of BX3 is along BX bond, Therefore, in case of your BX3 molecule, you have 3 BH bonds. Therefore, each sigma V is passing through BH bond. Each sigma V is passing through the BH bond, and in case of BX3 molecule, BX, each sigma V is passing through the BX bond here. In case of BX3 molecule, you have 3 BX bonds. That means there are 3 sigma V's in case of BX3 molecule, each sigma V passing through BX bond. So therefore we can say that in BX3 molecule you have C3 principal rotational axis of symmetry and 3 sigma V's. So this is what regarding the BX3 molecule. Now this molecule also has horizontal plane of symmetry, that we will discuss when we talk about the horizontal plane of symmetry. I'll tell you what where you have that from where the horizontal plane of symmetry is present. Anyhow, just try to understand with this molecule, BX3 molecule, right? Boron in the center, XX at 3 different corners separated by 120 degrees. The principal rotational axis of symmetry is passing from the center of the boron like this. That means on rotation of each 120 degrees you are getting equivalent structure. So each time if I rotate to 120 degrees I get equivalent structure. Now the plane of symmetry is also passing like this. That is, you are cutting the molecule like this. When you are cutting the molecule you get 2 equal halves. Now this plane or cutting of the molecule is along the principal axis. That is, principal axis is in this direction and your plane is also passing parallel to your principal rotational axis of symmetry. That means you are cutting parallel, that you are cutting this molecule like this. Therefore, it has a sigma V plane of symmetry. Now each sigma V is passing through the BX bond like this. So therefore, you have 3 BX bonds like this. One BX is like this, the second BX plane will be like this, the third plane will be like this. So you are cutting like this, one plane, like cutting like this, second plane, cutting like this, third plane. That is, they are along the principal rotational axis of symmetry. Therefore, in BX3 bond, you have the BX3 molecule, you have 3 sigma V's. Now coming to the next further example, we will take the example of ML4 square planar complexes. Square planar complexes. Now here in ML4, in the center, you have your metal, this is the situation. In case of your ML4 square planar complex, it has C4 rotational principal axis of symmetry, and that C4 is passing from the center of the metal atom. Here you are having the C4 on rotation to every 90 degrees. If the axis is passing like this, and if you rotate to every 90 degrees, you get the equivalent structure. Therefore, in case of your ML4 square planar complexes, it has C4 rotational axis of symmetry. First thing. Second thing, this molecule has vertical plane of symmetries. So there are 4 vertical plane of symmetry. There is 4 sigma V's are present. 4 sigma V's. How that 4 sigma V's are present? Now, principal axis is like this. your plane of symmetry is also like this. That if you cut the molecule from LML bond like this, you get two equal halves. Similarly, if you cut the molecule like this, LML, you have the two equal halves. Now if you see the first plane, second plane, both are passing along with principal rotational axis of symmetry. Therefore, 1, 2 sigma v's. The other 2 sigma v's are like this. That is, in case of ML4, you have edges. Now each plane is passing like this, touching the center of the opposite edges. That is plane, one plane like this. If you cut it like this, you get two equal halves. If you cut it like this, you get two equal halves. The first half and the second half. Altogether, in case of your ML4 complexes, that is square planar complexes, you have 4 sigma v's. 2 sigma v's. These 2 sigma v's are passing from LML bond. The other 2 sigma v's, they are passing from the center of edges and metal atom. Center of opposite edges actually. Center of opposite edges. So here in case of ML4 complexes, once again I am just repeating it. In ML4 complexes, it has C4 rotational axis of symmetry, and that axis is passing from the center of the metal atom like this. So on rotation of every 90 degrees will give you the equivalent structure. This is the principal rotational axis of symmetry of ML4 complex, square planar complex. Coming to the plane of symmetries, in ML4 square planar complexes, it has 4 sigma v's, 4 vertical plane of symmetries, 2 vertical plane of symmetries passing from the LML, that is ligand metal ligand bond. So if you pass a plane like this, you get two equal halves. That is, if you cut the molecule like this, you get the first half and the second half. If you cut it like this, if you are cutting like this, you have two equal halves. If you cut it like this, you have two equal halves. Similarly, if you cut it like this, or if you reflect along this particular axis, along this particular plane, you have the two equal halves. If you cut it like this, if you reflect like this, you have two halves. If you reflect like this, you have the two halves. Therefore, altogether, in case of your square planar complexes, you have 4 sigma v's. These 2 sigma v's are passing through the ligand metal ligand axis, and these 2 sigma v's are passing through the center of the opposite edges. So this is what regarding the vertical plane of symmetries in case of the square planar complexes. Right. Now, similarly, if you go for the cyclopentane, cyclopentane also has vertical plane of symmetries. In case of cyclopentane, it has C5 rotation axis of symmetry, which is passing from the center of the cyclopentane. Now, axis passing like this, on rotation of every 72 degrees, you will get the equivalent structure. Now, this also has plane of symmetries. Now, you can cut this into two equal halves. For example, if I cut like this, that is opposite edge and the corner. Opposite edge and corner, I get two equal halves. That is, the first half reflects the second half. Now, each sigma v here in case of cyclopentane is passing from the center of opposite and the corner. In case of your cyclopentane, you have 5 edges and 5 corners. That means it will be having the 5 sigma v's. This is one sigma v. This is the second sigma v. This will be your third sigma v. This will be your fourth sigma v. And this will be your fifth sigma v. So altogether you have 5 sigma v's in case of your cyclopentane molecule. Similarly, in case of your benzene also, if you take the benzene, in benzene it has C6 rotational axis of symmetry. Benzene has C6 rotational axis of symmetry. The axis is passing from the center of the benzene. On rotation of every 60 degrees will give you equivalent structure. So the axis is from like this. Your plane will also be like this only. That is, it will be running parallel to your principal rotational axis of symmetry. That means if you bisect from here, if you reflect from the center like this, you get two equal halves. Now you can see that here the plane is passing from the opposite edges. So in case of your benzene, you have total 6 edges. Therefore, there will be 3 sigma v's passing through the opposite edges. At the same time, in benzene, the sigma v's also passes from the opposite corners. Opposite corners. So you can see sigma v, and sigma v. These 3 sigma v's are passing from the opposite edges, whereas these 3 sigma v's, sigma v, and sigma v, these 3, they are passing from the opposite corners. The only condition in all these cases, all these examples what we have discussed is that your plane of symmetry should run parallel to the principal rotational axis of symmetry. That's it. If plane of symmetry is running parallel to your principal rotational axis of symmetry, blindly you should say it is a vertical plane of symmetry. No other choice for this. Right? So this is what regarding the vertical plane of symmetry and their examples. Now let us go with the horizontal plane of symmetry. Horizontal plane of symmetry, which is given as sigma h. The condition is that sigma passing perpendicular to principal rotational axis of symmetry. Principal rotational axis of symmetry, Cn. That is, the sigma is perpendicular to Cn. If that is the case, we say it as a horizontal plane of symmetry. We call it as horizontal plane of symmetry. Let us take the example for this. Your water molecule doesn't have horizontal plane of symmetry. Your ammonia molecule doesn't have horizontal plane of symmetry. The horizontal plane of symmetry can be seen in BX3 molecule. BX3 molecule. As already told you that in case of BX3 molecule, the principal rotational axis of symmetry is C3, and which is passing like this from the center of the boron. That is, the rotational axis of symmetry is like this. Now coming to the horizontal plane of symmetry, if you take BX3 molecule, principal rotational axis of symmetry is like this, and if you are passing like this, it is called vertical plane of symmetry, because this plane is passing parallel. Now if you take this BX3 molecule and if you cut like this, that if you are cutting like this, touching the center of X, center of this X, center of this X, if you are cutting like this, just like if you cut a cake from the center, you get two equal halves. Here also you are bisecting this molecule, you are reflecting this molecule from the center, such that when you are reflecting, you are cutting from the center here, here, and this is also in the reflection part. Therefore you get two equal halves of this. You get the two equal halves of this. Therefore we say it has the plane of symmetry. If you look at this plane, the rotational axis of symmetry is along this axis. Your plane of symmetry is like this. That is, both are perpendicular to each other. Therefore this is called horizontal plane of symmetry. Now if you look at this plane, which is running horizontal to principal axis, your principal axis is somewhere from this axis, right? You are cutting the molecule like this, or if you are reflecting the molecule from the center like this. Now this is perpendicular to your principal rotational axis of symmetry. Therefore it is called horizontal plane of symmetry. And one more thing is that when you are reflecting here, it is touching this atom, it is touching boron atom, it is also touching this boron atom or X atom. Therefore this plane of symmetry is passing through all the atoms. As I already told you that if a plane of symmetry is passing through all the atoms of the molecule, it is called a molecular plane. Now here the molecular plane molecular plane is running horizontal to your principal rotational axis of symmetry. This molecular horizontal plane of symmetry, since it is running perpendicular, it is called sigma h. So in case of BX3 molecule, BX3 molecule has sigma h, that is horizontal plane of symmetry, which will run perpendicular to principal rotational axis of symmetry. Your principal rotational axis of symmetry is like this, and your plane of symmetry is like this. That is, you are cutting the molecule like this. Therefore, it has sigma h. As I already told you, in vertical plane of symmetry, in case of BX3 molecule, it has 3 sigma v's. Just go through the previous that is vertical plane of symmetry. If you have any doubts, just look over there and just come back, and you will come to understand what is sigma h. There we have taken sigma v, which are running parallel. So in BX3 molecule, you have C3 principal rotational axis of symmetry, 3 sigma v's, and also has 1 sigma h. 1 sigma h. Now that is horizontal plane of symmetry. Why I am highlighting all these things? Because when you go for the point group, when you discuss regarding the point groups, you have to list out all the symmetry elements, and then only we can classify that into particular point group. So this is regarding the example of BX3 molecule. Now let us take the other example, that is ML4 complex. Now in the case of the ML4 complex also, as in BX3 you have an horizontal plane of symmetry, ML4 complex also has horizontal plane of symmetry, and here the horizontal plane of symmetry is also the molecular plane. In case of your ML4 complexes, the principal rotational axis of symmetry is passing from the center of the metal. It has C4 rotational axis of symmetry, and your plane of symmetry will be running perpendicular. So if you see here, this is what somewhat your square planar complex, right? In square planar complex, the axis is passing from the center of the metal atom. So on rotation of every 90 degrees, you get equivalent structure. This is principal rotational axis of symmetry. Now what we are doing is that you are doing the horizontal plane of symmetry. The condition is that the plane of symmetry must be horizontal to principal rotational axis of symmetry. Now your principal axis is like this, and if I cut this molecule from this axis, this plane. Now when I cut this molecule along this plane, I am cutting from center of this ligand, touching this ligand, metal, all this, such like cutting a bread from the center, you get 2 equal halves. Here also, just I am bisecting this molecule from the center. When I am bisecting, I am touching all these ligand atoms and also the central metal atom. I get 2 equal halves over here. If I separate them, I get 2 equal halves. So therefore, I have 2 equal halves. I say it has a plane of symmetry. Since this plane, it is perpendicular to principal rotational axis of symmetry. This is how your principal rotational axis of symmetry is present, and this is how your plane of symmetry is present. Now the plane of symmetry and principal rotational axis of symmetry, this is your principal. Those are perpendicular to each other. Therefore, we say that this particular molecule has horizontal plane of symmetry. Since this horizontal plane of symmetry, that is sigma h, is touching all the atoms of the complex, all the atoms of the particular molecule, we call this as the again molecular plane. So here the molecular plane itself is the sigma h. Similarly, if you go for the other example, that is cyclopentane. Here also the principal rotational axis of symmetry is passing from the center, and if I bisect the molecule like this, there is a horizontal plane of symmetry which is giving you sigma h. Same in case of your benzene molecule, where the principal rotational axis of symmetry is C6, and if you bisect the molecule like this, you have the sigma h. So this is what regarding the horizontal plane of symmetry. All you have to remember is that the plane of symmetry must be perpendicular to your principal rotational axis of symmetry. So this is what the important condition regarding the horizontal plane of symmetry. If it is perpendicular to your principal rotation axis of symmetry, it is called horizontal plane of symmetry. The best examples have been given. One is BX3 molecule, ML4 complexes, and cyclopentane, and your benzene molecule, where you have the horizontal plane of symmetries. Now let us continue our lecture with the third type of plane of symmetry, that is dihedral plane of symmetry. Dihedral plane of symmetry, that is sigma D, right? Dihedral plane of symmetry, which is called as sigma D. The condition is that sigma should pass We shall continue now with the dihedral plane of symmetry, which is called as sigma D. The condition for sigma D is that sigma should pass through the principal rotational, that is Cn, and it should bisect two C2s. This is the condition for dihedral plane of symmetry. That is, the plane of symmetry should pass through the principal rotation axis of symmetry and should bisect two C2s. So whenever the plane of symmetry is passing, that means your plane of symmetry, rotational axis of symmetry should be in the same direction. If rotational axis is along this direction, plane of symmetry should also be in this direction. But when this plane is passing, it should separate two C2s. For example, you take this. Assume this is the principal rotational axis of symmetry. That is, your principal rotational axis of symmetry is passing like this. So your plane should also pass like this. And assume that this is a C2 along this axis and this is a C2 along this axis. So when your plane is passing, it should pass along principal axis, and when it is passing, it should bisect two C2s. It should bisect two C2s. Then it is called as dihedral plane of symmetry. So try to understand it once again. It's quite complex. Since I don't have the allene molecule or the ethylene molecules over here, it's quite difficult to explain. You need to have an imagination over there. I don't have the molecular models over here. Try to understand this. For example, this is a principal axis passing like this, along this axis. And this is a C2 passing along this axis. The other C2 passing along this axis. Now these two are C2s, consider them. That is, this C2 is passing along this axis. That is, here it is C2. This is another C2 passing like this. This is your principal rotational axis of symmetry, passing along this axis. The condition for dihedral plane of symmetry is that your plane of symmetry should pass along with the principal rotational axis. That is, it should pass like this. When it is passing, when you are bisecting like this, when you are cutting the molecule like this along your principal axis, these two C2s must be bisected. That means it should interfere, cut these two C2s, separate these two C2s. So whenever the plane passes like this, you have two C2s bisected. So therefore, we call this as the horizontal plane of symmetry. For this, you have a dihedral plane of symmetry. For this, you have the molecule of allene, and you also have the molecule of ethane. You have the molecule of the ethane, that is staggered ethane. Staggered ethane molecule. Staggered ethane molecule and allene molecules both have the dihedral plane of symmetries. Now, actually, just give you an idea regarding the allene molecule, not going deep into that. I'll add a link to you people where you can see the allene molecule and its dihedral, how the sigma D are passing in particular allene molecule. Right. If you take, so in case of your allene molecule, three carbon atoms. The terminal carbons are attached with two hydrogens. Actually, the terminal hydrogen atoms of this carbon and on this carbon are not in one plane. If these two are in board plane, this hydrogen will be away from the observer and this hydrogen will be towards the observer. These two will be in one plane. So the two hydrogens attached to at this position will be in this plane. The other two hydrogens which are on this carbon, they will be in this plane. That is, they are perpendicular to each other. The hydrogens on this carbon will be in this plane. The hydrogens on this carbon will be in the other plane. One of the hydrogen away from you and the other hydrogen towards you. So this is how your alene molecule is. In between this you have the carbon atoms. Now this alene molecule has C2 rotational axis of symmetries, right, along 3 different axes. One C2 is passing from the 3 carbon atoms. Now if I rotate 180 degrees, if I rotate it to 180 degrees, I get the structure. That is, if you rotate this 180 degrees, what happens? These 2 hydrogens change their position. These 2 hydrogens changes their position. So this is the one C2. That is, C2 is passing from the maximum number of atoms. This will become principal. This will become what? Principal rotational axis of symmetry. Principal rotational axis of symmetry. There are other two C2s, and that 2 C2s are actually passing from this carbon atom. So I don't have the molecule over there. We'll just try to make you understand. In case if you don't understand, I'll give a link of that video where you can see the dihedral plane of symmetry in case of the alene molecule. Actually, it should be the plane. The other 2 C2s in case of alene molecule will be from the center of this central carbon atom. Now this on rotation to 180 degrees. If you look at this particular molecule, you can see that I'm just holding in the form of X. I'm not holding perpendicular in this way. I'm holding them in the form of X. You can see that you have an X shape over here. The one of the axis passing from here, the other axis will be passing from here. That is, one C2 will be passing from here, other C2 will be passing from here. If first C2 is passing like this and rotating to 180 degrees, you can see that this is towards your right, this is below the plane towards your left hand. These are away from you. Now if I pass axis like this and rotate 180 degrees, you can see that again you got this at above the plane on your right side, below the plane towards your left, and the other atoms. This is one C2. Similarly, there is another C2 which is passing like this from along this axis, such that I am rotating it to 180 degrees like this. So altogether it has 3 C2s. 3 C2s. One C2 passing along the 3 atoms, rotation to 180 degrees will give you C2s. The other C2s are passing from the center of the carbon. I should try to explain you with that particular. So it has totally 3 C2s in this. Now this has our dihedral plane of symmetry. I am saying how the dihedral plane of symmetry is there. Condition is that in case of your dihedral plane of symmetry, it should pass through the principal rotational axis of symmetry and also bisect 2 C2s. As I told you, there are 2 C2s in this. One C2 here, that is in between here. The other C2 is somewhere in between here. Right? Now, if the plane is passing through the principal, we know that the principal rotational axis of symmetry is like this. So along this you have your principal rotational axis of symmetry. From here you have a C2, from here you have a C2. Along this axis you have C2, along this you have C2. Principal axis is like this. Now your plane will be passing like this. That is, it will bisect hydrogen, carbon and hydrogens like this. You get 2 equal halves. Whenever the plane is passing, you have a C2 here. You have another C2 along these two, in between these 2 atoms you have one C2. Along between these 2 you have one C2. So therefore, whenever it is passing through the principal and the 2 C2s are bisected. Therefore, it has the dihedral plane of symmetry. So this is what regarding the dihedral plane of symmetry of your alene molecule. Similarly, in staggered ethane also you have your dihedral plane of symmetry. I'll just try to show you diagrammatically. See, if you look at the alene molecule, from the front view, you can see that the two hydrogens are towards you and the two hydrogens are away from you. That is, I can represent them same as in on board, or I represent them in the form of X. HA, HB, HA, HB. Now, one of the axis is passing from the center, that is C2. If I rotate to 180 degrees, HA comes over here, HB goes here. Similarly, these two also exchange their position and will give you equivalent structure. See, this is how I am written diagrammatically represented in the form of X. These two are towards you, right? And these two are rear side of you. Therefore, in the dotted line, they should be represented with the broad lines. So here this C2 is passing from the center of carbon atoms, therefore it has a C2. The other two C2s, HA, HB, HA, HB. The other two C2s will be like this. If you rotate this molecule like this, right, what happens? The position of these two and these two changes. So, actually if you look at this, you feel that these two will be going to the other plane, but not. These two will be exchanging these two, and these two groups will be exchanging these two groups. So, therefore, this is one C2, the other C2 will be like this. So, in case of your alanine molecule, there are three C2s. And coming to your plane, now this is principal rotation axis and these are two C2s. So, here plane of symmetry, if it is passing like this, if you are bisecting like this, if you are cutting this from the center like this, what is happening? It is passing through the principal axis, two C2s are bisected here and you get two equal halves. Therefore, we call this, that is the plane passing from the hydrogen, carbon and hydrogen, it is called sigma D. Similarly, if I cut like this from this particular point, if I cut like this, I get two equal halves. So, this is also sigma D. So, in alanine molecule, there are two sigma Ds. So, this is what regarding the different plane of symmetries, the classification of plane of symmetry, vertical plane of symmetry, horizontal plane of symmetry and dihedral plane of symmetry. Thank you. If you have any doubts, feel free to call me and clarify your doubts. Thank you.